Hiya! Welcome! So on Friday the 14th of February, myself and my eldest daughter Emily went to Birmingham to see Cyndi Lauper in concert on what would have been the penultimate tour date of the UK leg of her Girls Just Wanna Have Fun farewell tour. Emily is a big Cyndi Lauper fan. She's not into music in any way that I am, you know, she doesn't collect records or even CDs, but she listens to stuff on Apple Music and YouTube, obviously. When I let her know, it would have been at some point towards kind of September last year onwards, I think, that Cyndi Lauper was doing a farewell tour, like a retirement tour, although it turns out Cyndi isn't actually retiring from performing full stop. She will still do occasional shows, likely solely in the US for obvious reasons. But when I said to Emily last year that Cyndi Lauper was doing a farewell tour and she's coming to the UK, Emily said, oh, I'd really like to go to that. So we got tickets, booked a hotel, travel, all the rest of it, and the day came round on Valentine's Day 2025. Yeah, Emily's a big Cyndi fan. I like Cyndi Lauper. I've got her first 2 albums. I wouldn't say I'm more than a casual fan though, but it's not like I was agreeing to go with my daughter to see an act who I didn't like or had little to no interest in, so I was looking forward to it. Not on the level of previous gigs that I've been to, and of course, if you go back through my various shish playlist, you'll see vlogs about some of the gigs that I've attended over the past year or so. So on the Friday, it wasn't a particularly early start. The venue that we were seeing Cyndi that evening was the BP Pulse Live Arena, basically the NEC Arena in Birmingham. So I don't know Birmingham or the NEC complex brilliantly well, but it's not too far to get to from here in Chesterfield on the train. Me and Emily set off. We got the bus into Chesterfield after 11 o'clock, had some lunch at Subway, had a slow walk down to the train station, which takes about 10 minutes walk from the town centre. Train came at about 1:10, about an hour to Birmingham New Street, the main station in Birmingham of course, and then we managed to get our connecting train to Birmingham International, which is basically the station for the NEC and the airport and whatever else is around there. So that was all fine. Cold, you know, it's February. The temperature seems to have been hovering around freezing, give or take, in this country for what feels like before Christmas now. So I'm not a big fan of travelling in winter really. So we would have got into Birmingham International about 2:30ish. And our hotel was the Ibis Styles that's located more or less beside the complex. So it's a short walk from the station to there. Checked into the hotel, nice clean room, pretty spacious. I don't think I'd stayed in an Ibis Styles before. I've stayed in like a basic Ibis hotel before. I did when I went to Nottingham to see Pet Shop Boys last year. This room was a fair bit bigger and the bathroom seemed a bit bigger as well. So we kind of just sort of chilled out. I made myself a cup of tea in the hotel room, which I always do. It's a kind of tradition come habit for me to make sure the kettle and everything works okay as soon as I check into a hotel room. Then I had a little snooze. Emily was just on her phone and psyching herself up for Cyndi later. Once I'd woke up, sort of maybe only dozed for half an hour or so, but I said to Emily, it looks like the restaurant here has got some decent stuff on the menu. Rather than us trekking out to the arena too early and then looking for something to eat, which I know there would have been plenty of places. I mean, it's right across from the Resorts World complex, which had Nando's, Five Guys, numerous other places in it, so it would have been fine. I just thought to make things a bit easier for us, we could just eat at the hotel. So we had a nice meal that evening, probably about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and we talked a bit about how to get to the arena. I spoke to someone at reception and they confirmed what I basically already knew, that the BP Pulse Live Arena was about a 20-minute walk. And I thought, you know what, because it's going dark and it's still really cold, if not colder than earlier, I think we should just get an Uber to the arena and then probably one back as well. And I'm glad we did that, because I wouldn't have liked trying to walk to the arena in the dark, and it would have taken us over 20 minutes, even though we knew part of the way, because obviously we would have had to gone back via the station. But even so, it just makes things a little easier. We'd done a lot of walking already that day. After dinner, and we went back up to the hotel for a bit just to make sure we'd got everything. Went downstairs, I booked an Uber, came within literally about 3 minutes. Didn't cost much either. I mean, it's only a short journey from the hotel to the arena, although they've got to go sort of ring roads and roundabouts and everything. It still took between 5 and 10 minutes. So we got to the BP Pulse Live Arena about 7:30ish. Fairly quick to get in. There were some queues, but they were going down really fast. Got through security. Previously, after booking the gig tickets, etc., the BP Pulse Live Arena sent me a code for me to get access to the EVIP lounge, which I think is really for electric car drivers, and I don't drive any car, electric or otherwise. But I'd got an access code to go up to the EVIP lounge. So after Emily spent an absolutely insane amount of money at the merchandise stand, I mean, that was something she was really looking forward to, just buying t-shirts and these coloured wigs that you'll see Emily wearing, one of 3 that she bought in the thumbnail. And she also bought a hat and a tote bag. They were selling the vinyl album of her latest hits compilation, Let the Canary Sing, but I couldn't even see a price on it. And I dread to think the markup, because the markup for t-shirts was bad enough. They were like £40 each, where normally a shirt like that, official or otherwise, should really be no more than about 20 in my opinion. But anyway, Emily was happy enough, you know, she had her money. She knew she wanted to get a lot of merchandise. It was her only chance to do so, so fair enough. But I didn't buy the album, and if I did want that particular compilation, Let the Canary Sing, which is also the title of Cyndi Lauper's recent documentary, which I did watch the other day actually, it was very good. I know I could pick that up elsewhere. It wasn't a special tour edition that you can only get at arenas. If it was, I probably would have treated myself, just as it would have been quite a nice limited edition, but it looked to be just a standard version. Anyway, so after Emily went to the merchandise stand, we went to and checked into the BP Pulse EVIP section, which is basically just like an upper concourse level that you need access with a code, and it's got private bar, private toilets, and you can just kind of sit on top of like the balcony, the concourse, and sort of people watch what's going on down below, with all the main concourse and food stalls and merch stalls and everything. We had another drink. Emily was trying her wigs on. It was getting on for 8 o'clock at this point, and the support act was starting at 8. And me and Emily weren't too bothered about seeing her. It's a DJ called Tracy Young. I'm now worried I'm getting her name wrong, because it feels like there's another Tracy Young who I'm maybe getting her mixed up with, but I'll show a clip in a moment anyway. But me and Emily weren't too bothered, but we thought we might catch the end of it, because she was only supposed to be doing a half-hour set from 8 till 8:30, and then there'd be a break of half an hour, and then Cyndi had come on at 9. So we finished the drinks, found our seats, which were really good seats, not front, but you know, in that sort of front section, and we caught the very end of Tracy Young. Still doubted it. It'll say a name on screen when I show the clip. In fact, I'll show it now. So yeah, I can't say whether that was a brilliant set or not. The end was fine. There were a few people in the crowd who seemed to be enjoying it. I'm kind of glad I caught the end of it, if only just to show you a brief clip of her. And then 9 o'clock, Cyndi Lauper started. She was doing the same set list in the same order that she seems to be doing for this entire world tour that she's on. I think the final gig in the UK is Belfast, a couple of days after Birmingham, and then she's off into Europe. I think eventually she's in the Far East and Australia as well. Same set list, same order, a lot of stuff that I was very familiar with, obviously, the big hitters and my personal favourites, and some stuff that I've either not heard before because it's on albums I've never listened to, or stuff that I just haven't heard in an awful long time. Cyndi Lauper, I mean, she's 72 this year, if she's not turned 72 already. It's the same age as my mother. So much energy for a woman of her age, you know, can't fault her. I mean, obviously this is the last time that she's going to be going all over the world or even touring to any extent, even in the United States. She knows when to call it quits, but you know, she still seemed full of energy, quick on her feet, quick-witted, as she always has been. Plenty to say for herself, you know, perhaps a little too much, which I'll touch upon in a moment. Emily loved it, that was the main thing, you know, I was taking my daughter to see her. Before I wrap up about the concert itself, here's just about a 4-minute segment of some of Cyndi's performances that I managed to record.
Taste your sweet kisses, your arms open wide. This fever for you is just burning me inside. Come on, night, get to me. Is that alright? Come on, night, crept in your room. From your sleep,
So the arena, Birmingham, NEC or BP Pulse Live, whatever it's calling itself this week, pretty big, well very big actually. I just got the feeling some of the seating was closed off, was kind of had a curtain over it. When I looked behind me, it didn't seem as big as I thought it would be. But that must have been due to there not being brilliant ticket sales. I mean, this wasn't a sellout, you could tell. You know, I looked around and there was a fair few seats dotted around. It was fairly full. It wasn't sort of a disastrous gate by any stretch. It was a good crowd, you know, a lot of people sort of my age and older. But there's a few youngsters there. I mean, Emily, you know, she's in her early 20s. She's certainly not of the generation that grew up with Cyndi Lauper like I am. My problems with the concert, well, as I alluded to earlier, Cyndi Lauper does like her anecdotes, and that's fine. And, you know, a lot of the crowd were getting a kick out of Cyndi's ad-libs and jokes, but ad-libs is probably a little bit of a misnomer, because I get the feeling her banter was probably similar, just maybe modified slightly for each different venue on all her tour dates, really. And some of her stories and anecdotes just took twice as long as some of the songs. Whether that was a deliberate thing so that she didn't have to perform as many songs within the allotted time, I don't know. But I would have rather her cut out some of the banter and the chit-chat and either sung a couple extra songs, or even better in my book, it would have reduced the time of the concert, because the concert started at 9, or Cyndi's part did, and ended at 11. I could have easily lived without all the rabbit from Cyndi, but you know, anyone who knows Cyndi Lauper knows she's always got a lot to say for herself. She's just that sort of personality. The majority of people there seem to really enjoy it, but I get the feeling it was kind of, you know, standard sort of waffle and chit-chat that she rehearses for each tour date, really. The backing band were great, can't fault them at all, excellent I would say. Some nice video screens with great graphics and footage and effects and stuff on. The seats that we had, while they weren't front, they were as close as I could have got when I was booking the tickets. So Emily wanted the best seats possible, and these were the best seats possible at the time. So really happy to have got those. There was a 3-song encore where the stage was like extended out, and then Cyndi came out into like what was almost the crowd. So she was very close to us at one point, just kind of to the left really. Good night. Not the best gig I've ever been to, but I didn't expect it to be. Me and Emily left the arena at 11, managed to get an Uber back to the hotel, so we're back at the hotel before 11:30. Went to bed, got up, nice breakfast, big old breakfast at the Ibis Styles restaurant. It's the usual buffet style, help yourself to cooked items, continental items, unlimited tea, coffees, fruit juices, etc, etc, whatever you want basically. We had a walk back to the international train station in plenty of time. Minor difficulties getting home because our train connecting to New Street was running late, and then we missed our connection to the direct train to Chesterfield back from New Street. But it wasn't as bad as it sounded really. The worst thing about it was just it being so cold, just like chilly February weather, and just having to hang around on cold platforms and in cold train stations. And Birmingham New Street, for a big station, it's kind of dull and dreary. Probably even when the weather outside's lovely, you know, it's just a kind of cavernous, dismal place really. Rather than try and kill 2 hours at New Street Station, or venture out into the cold of Birmingham city centre to wait for the next train back to Chesterfield, I had a look on a couple of apps on my phone and saw that we could get a train to Derby after 12 o'clock, and then a connecting train from Derby to Chesterfield, and would still be home at a pretty reasonable hour. You know, maybe an hour and a half later than what we would have originally intended, but that doesn't matter. We were back home before 2 o'clock basically, which I don't think is bad at all, given that we only set off at around 11 the previous morning, so it wasn't much more than 24 hours being out of the house. So there we go, that was my experiences of travelling to Birmingham and to the BP Pulse Live Arena to see Cyndi Lauper. Thank all of you for watching this. Hope you enjoyed it. I want to say special thanks to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now, and please join me again next time, whenever that might be. I'm not sure yet, but I would like to think that I would go to another gig, and one that I'm really pretty excited about again this year at some point, but when the weather's nicer, certainly. I can't be doing with this going on trains in the winter. Yeah, that was like the main downside of it all for me, just being cold and tired all the time. Anyway, join me again next time for my next gig going concert vlog, and I'll see you there for it. Cheers everyone. See ya.